Facebook, YouTube, calm down. That's not copyright music. If it's copyrighted by anybody, it's by StreamYard, and they provide this show. They provide their services for me to do this show, and they also provide the music. So talk to them about copyright, okay? Not don't fuss at me. All right, we are getting ready to have on the show tonight some people I've never had on the show before. A couple of them still getting their act together, and we are going live with them in just a few minutes. We are tonight with Paranormal Party right here on WLFEDB radio. We are live on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Lynn Dorman. On my YouTube channel, that's CARK, SEARKPS, Lynn Dorman. And of course, live on WLFEDB radio. And of course, WLFEDB.com. And of course, you can watch this anytime you want. If you don't have to watch us live tonight, you can watch us on any of the major podcast networks. This will be streamed to them and for eternity, I'm assuming, as long as those networks last, which looks like it may be eternity. Those are doing quite well. Anyway, again, it's Lynn Dorman. We'll be having Paranormal Party tonight, and we will be going with them just shortly. Just a couple of announcements. This is our first broadcast for the Halloween season. And there's some links where you can see us right there. Like I said, we are having 13 broadcasts. And the reason I say 13 days, this just happens to be the 20th through November 1st with the celebration of Day of the Dead, which is a 3-day celebration, the 30th, the 31st, and November 1st. So I'll be telling some just short shows, talking about, ghost stories, some of my paranormal experiences. On Halloween night, we'll be having a very long show starting about 8 o'clock Eastern, and Central, about 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern. And we will be having, hopefully outside if it's not raining, and we will hopefully have a few guests that want to come in on the show and celebrate Halloween with us. So I'm looking forward to that on Halloween night. We'll be doing some ghost box sessions and things like this. Anybody who wants to appear on the show, just send me a message, and during the show you can come on, hopefully in costume. All right, let's get this show on the road and bring our guest in. Let's see, we need to drop this banner so we can bring people in. Boy, everything's kind of working a little sluggish tonight. I keep pushing buttons and nothing's happening. All right, let's bring all our guests in. Give it a few seconds for everything to get set. Come on, StreamYard, do your thing. And here we are. Can everybody hear me just fine?
I can hear you.
Okay, can everybody else hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, we are moving right along. Let me pull this banner down. Boy, everything is record slow tonight. Okay. Here we are. Now, what would we like to talk about tonight?
Anything mainly, your heart desires.
Ooh. I didn't know we were going to bring Jennifer Lopez into this.
Which one?
I've always been envious of Ben Affleck. So,
have you?
Yeah, he's a good actor, and I cannot act my way out of a wet paper bag. Plus,
Oh,
he's married to
jeez.
Jennifer Lopez now.
Is he? Oh, yeah, he is.
Yes, he is. They got
Oh,
married, what, a few
goodness.
months ago, I believe. So
And what marriage is it? What
let's
marriage is this for her?
that's a good question. What relationship is this with her?
I have no idea. Well, let's start off by introducing ourselves.
That is the best way. Let's talk about who we are, what we're doing, and what we've done, what we want to do. First, can
Perfect.
everybody introduce themselves and tell us how in the world did you get in this business?
Well, my name is Jamie Lynn, and I've been a paranormal fanatic, gosh, since I can remember. It started off with watching TV shows and stuff, and it transferred over to my daughter, who is below me, Kasaya. And a couple years ago, we started going cross country and going on investigations with some TV celebrities, and we've enjoyed it ever since. And then we brought along, wait, that way, Joe. We met Joe a few months ago, and she is our soul sister. We call ourselves our parapals, and she has become a close friend of ours and our psychic medium empath. So I introduced myself. We'll continue and let Kasai go next, and then Joe go next.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm Kasaya. I am that one's daughter, her little partner in crime here, obviously, at this point. I mean, we've done everything together since I can remember. And now here we are as business partners. So it only makes sense. Paranormal, she randomly came up to me one day and she's like, "Hey, you want to go to Tennessee?" And I'm like, "Sure, for what?" And that's pretty much how it all started. And we've been on multiple investigations at this point and finally just decided to make a name for ourselves because we enjoy it so much.
Okay. What was in Tennessee?
Oh man, what city did we visit? It was really small. Not Stacy.
Tracy City.
Tracy City. There's a haunted bakery, the cemetery there, and then they had the old coal mines or coke mines.
Okay. A haunted bakery.
Yes. And there was a
So
lot of it.
the cupcakes were really scary.
Very delicious.
That time we went with the Wraith Chasers. Chris
Okay,
and Mike.
that's a good group. They're a couple of good guys.
Oh my God, they're incredible. And
I've never been able to work with them. I just have seen them in action and on the internet. I've never actually met the gentleman.
Oh, they're absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, you're missing out. Good group of guys.
Cool.
And
it's always
we've done
good to hear positive stuff.
Yeah, we've done a couple of hunts with them, and we'll tell you more about it later. But Kasai is going to be joining them later this month. Next month.
Very good. Well,
so yeah.
Can you say where you're going to be next month?
Ashmore Estates in Illinois.
Ashmore Estates. That's a cool place. It was actually one of my first investigations. Of course, this was back with the old owner that appeared on Ghost Adventures. If you remember that show, he had a cow in the front yard back when it was a Halloween attraction. So I investigated that several years ago, quite a few years ago, more than I care to remember. So that's an interesting place. So happy hunting.
All right, I think it's Joe's turn.
Hi, everyone. I am Joe West. I'm a psychic medium and empath. And Gosh, I've just always loved everything about paranormal stuff. I've been able to talk to spirits pretty much my whole life, as far as I can remember. Um, and I do psychic stuff. I do tarot readings. I do lots of stuff. And I met Jamie a couple months ago in on a radio show through Diet Renee. I was taking some classes through her, and just reached out to her and said hi, and we've been attached at the hip ever since. And I did my first paranormal investigation last month with her. We went to Jericho, and it was amazing.
Went to Jericho?
Yep, went to Jericho. Yeah, it was amazing. There we did the convent and the school, and it was just great.
I imagine you were kind of working overtime feeling stuff there.
Oh God, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. My for me being an empath, the my vibrations and feelings go up and down and up and down. And so yeah, they would ask me, the girls would be like, okay, so what are you feeling for this room? And I'd tell them, and then I would see stuff, and it was, yeah, nonstop pretty much.
I'm a little bit of a feeler myself, and I've been known to walk through a location
Okay.
and decide on which room I'm going to be in mostly.
Oh, nice.
I'm 66. I have 2 artificial knees.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't move around. Doing something like Ashmore Estates, I kind of hesitate to do that now because of all the size of the location. Waverly
Right.
Hills, I would have a hard time going there even with a large group, because there's no way. If I even just walked to each floor, I'd be exhausted and my legs would be hurting so bad I couldn't continue.
Right,
So
right.
It helps me out a lot just being able to walk through and being able to choose, a room that quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just we went through the areas, and then when we would go into or buy a room, I would just go to the area I was drawn to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly what I do. And I just tell the group, I'm here. This is where I'm going to be. If you walk through here, just remember I'm here.
Right. Yeah. It was a great experience. I'm looking forward to many more things that we'll be doing together.
Hey, that's fantastic. At least you had a very good time in your first investigation.
Oh, yes.
It was incredible. And Jericho is a little town in a little place called Chilton, Wisconsin. And what it was is it's an abandoned convent, school, and church. And it was recently purchased, and they're slowly starting to clean it up so people can do investigations. And that's all done through Fox Valley Ghost Hunters. Craig Nearing, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's taken pretty much control or charge of that. So if you don't mind, what I would like to do is bring in Kimmy Wells, because she was on a live with us along with her friends at Best Friends Paranormal, and we'll talk a little bit about that investigation and things that we came across and what we've seen and what we've heard. Is that okay with you, Lynn?
Hey, of course, whatever you want to
do. You're the boss.
I guess I got to wait for her to pop. Well, I am here for you. I know I'm the host. It's supposed to be my show. Sometimes I feel like She-Hulk and say, whose show is this anyway? But I let the guest kind of control the show, control the flow, and I'll add something once in a while.
awesome. That's the way we like you. I
There
wish
you
my
go.
husband was more like you. Just kidding. Don't tell him I said that. I've got a great
My wife
husband.
wishes I was more like this than normal. How long you been married?
Me, 29 years. 29 years. It's been incredible.
Me, 7 days, 6 days, 5 days, 5 days. So we figured it
Yeah.
out.
31 years. 31 years here. Hi,
Hey, Joe. Hey, Cassandra.
Hi.
Kasaya just got married on Saturday.
Yes.
I did.
congrats.
How you doing, Kimmy?
Well,
I'm good, Lynn. How are you?
66 years old and still married.
Is that a good thing or a
I-
bad thing? I'm kidding.
Actually, I've been happily married for over 20 years. November 10th will be 21, and I kid my wife a lot. I talk about her a lot, like she's doing me wrong, but she's not. We've had a great relationship, and we're quite happy in our little cabin in the woods, which is a retirement home,
Yes.
basically. Right, it's our retirement home, and we're perfectly happy here. We went out today, and I bought food, and I've currently got 2 Boston butts in the oven cooking.
Oh, no.
ooh.
Where's our
Nice.
invite, man? Just saying.
Yeah.
And they're cooking at 225 degrees, and
That's
they
the best.
they were a few ounces short of being. It's two of them. Together, they weighed just short of 20 pounds.
Woo.
Wow.
So I
Ah.
basically have two 10-pound pork roasts in the oven.
Well, last week I had a total of 40 pork roasting for about 12 hours for that girl's wedding.
Mhm.
40 pounds.
So I did the same thing.
Yeah, we did another 80 pounds. We had about 50 pounds on a smoker and the other 30 roasting all day.
Jeez.
It
How
was
long
good
have you been
food, but
married now?
5 days. I got married on
5
Saturday.
days?
Yep.
Yeah, she just got married.
Yeah, you've been married 5 days, and you're on here talking to me on a live paranormal radio show.
I am.
She's on
Commitment, man.
vacation.
Commitment.
He's sleeping anyways. He's
Yeah.
on duck hunt in the morning. It's fine.
He's sleeping.
Hey, wait a minute. Then what is my son doing over there if your husband's sleeping?
He's at the gym.
Okay, we don't need to worry about that. This is a different show.
Oh. I'm just kidding.
We just
We
like
got to go later
So-
for that one.
Yeah, my
No,
wife is
because
in the
I
living room watching. She's watching TV and she's on the internet. Sometimes she occasionally pops in here, so let's be careful what we say in front of the wife.
too funny.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
uh,
talk about Jericho.
Yeah.
Jericho.
Yeah, we had lots of
uh,
experiences there.
And it started
do
almost
tell.
immediately.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So we went through, like I said, did a walkthrough and everything. And for me, when we went into the convent and we were just doing our walkthrough, there was a little boy that came up to me, a spirit, and just immediately, he was young, like 5, 6 years old, real dirty face, was holding old stuffed rabbit, and could tell he had been crying. The tear stains were on his face and that. So he stayed with me the whole time. I didn't tell anyone that he was with me. And my daughter was watching the live. I ended up, because he didn't know if he wanted to leave the convent or not when we were taking a break. And Jamie had went outside, so I told her I'd be outside in a minute. And then he decided to come outside with me, and so I put him in the car, but I think the car kind of freaked him out a little bit because he ended up coming back in. Well, when we took a break, like I said, I hadn't told anybody about it. And my daughter, she has feelings and whatnot and can see spirits too. And she ended up sending me a message during the break and said, by chance, did you sense a little boy about 5 or 6 years old? And I was like, oh, yes, proud mommy moment right there. So,
Aw.
yeah, so that was right away. As soon as I got in, there was already a spirit there.
Oh, and I
Wow.
think the best part of that situation is that none of us knew. Sorry, my dog is in my face right now. I'm trying to get her to calm down. But none of us really knew about the little boy, and we did this thing called the Estes method, where you cut off
Yeah.
all of your senses but touch, pretty much. You can't see, you can't hear anything. And I kept getting like little kid terms, like, I want to play, let's play, just play with me, can we play? And none of us knew that she had seen this little boy yet, or that she was feeling this little boy. So it was just crazy that it
Yeah.
all came out like that.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, because when Kasaya was doing that, another girl that was with us, McKenna, the little boy just kept saying, can we play now? Can we play now? Can we play now? And I finally said, because he didn't really want to answer. I mean, what little kid wants to answer you? So he answered a couple questions for us, but finally I said, yeah, we can play. And he was pulling on my hand, and everybody kept seeing my hand being pulled back and me being pulled back a little bit.
Aw.
Yeah, so it was very, very cool. Lots of things happened. I think it was also in that was in the convent, and then when we were over in the school, I saw a man that had hung himself over there. There was another man that wanted to dance with me that was over there. And then I think it was back in the convent that we went into that room, I believe. Wasn't it, Jamie?
What room?
In the room where I did the Estes method? That was in the convent, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And then we went upstairs into the convent, and I did the Estes method that Kasaya was talking about in there, and that was crazy. That was that was like crazy amazing. I am totally in love with the Estes method. I mean, I think my actions afterwards kind of freaked some people out because I was sitting, and my legs, because spirit was just by me so much, my vibrations were so high, and there was lots of depression, loneliness, no trust, anxiety. And I remember I kept saying at the end, please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. And then I was begging, please don't hit me. And that's when they shut it off. And Jamie came over because I started crying, and my leg was just going a mile a minute, just up and down. Kasaya was to the left and McKenna was to the right of me. I had them grabbing my hands, and my legs were just going up and down, and
Wow.
I was trying to talk through the sobs, and I said he's not, because I didn't want people to think that he was the spirit was trying to hurt me. He wasn't. He just had lost trust in everyone. And he felt trapped in that room. There was no way for him to get out. And he just wanted us to help him. But it was definitely a very, very, very intense feeling. It took a long time for my vibrations to finally come down. And then I told the girls, I said, once I calmed down a little bit, I said, I'm going to slide out of the room because I couldn't even stand at that point. So I slid out, and literally as soon as my foot broke the doorway threshold, I was calm. It was
Wow.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And then the other cool thing was I had said his name was Brian. And Jamie was asking spirit questions. And she said, "Is your name Brian?" And both of our flashlights that were in the hallway lit up.
Wow.
So it was very, very, very cool. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. And then there was another part when we had Kimmy with us doing a live with Best Friends Paranormal. She, along with Kasaya, Joe, and I, we were all in different parts of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with Best Friends Paranormal live. Joe was downstairs in the school. Kasaya was upstairs in the school.
No,
What?
we were all upstairs, and I was doing
Okay.
just
Okay, and then I was over in the convent, and well, Kimmy can explain what happened with the REM pod. We'll give Kimmy a chance to talk.
We were going. It's okay. We were going through the school, and then we got to the part where the stairs, and Debbie and Adriana had picked up that, something about the stairs, like somebody had been pushed off the stairs. And so then when we did the REM pod, she put the REM pod on the staircase, and we were asking questions. And then we had asked if somebody had gotten pushed off the stairs, the REM pod had lit up. So that was pretty cool.
And at that exact moment, pretty much, it was like within maybe a couple minutes of each other. I'm gonna hear in my mouth. Oh my goodness. I was in the convent with the rest of the girls. Jamie was the only one that was I was in the school. My goodness. Jamie was the only one that was in the convent. I was under the Estes method. And right within maybe like 2 minutes of that happening, me being under, I was pushed. They pushed me and they grabbed me through what I could hear that came through to me at the exact same time. And it was insane. Like those little things that add up once you realize it after you're watching the videos after.
Mm-hmm.
And all of it just makes sense out of nowhere. It's crazy.
It's crazy how it comes like a puzzle, almost.
Mm-hmm. And then all those pieces come together, and you're like, whoa. So yeah, pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
and,
showing some messages right now talking about your recent marriage, by the way.
Yeah, I
There
saw
was a
that.
question by Patricia Scott. The spirit, did you help him move on?
Yes,
spirit?
yes, we did. I think the one from the room, is that what the one he's talking about?
Brian?
Yes.
Brian
Yeah.
upstairs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that was trapped in
Yep.
the room.
Yep, we did. Yeah. It took a little bit. I was outside of the hallway at the time and just we all kept saying that he could trust us, that we wanted him to be at peace. And, it was just time to move on. It was okay for him to do that. And after a little bit, it was just very, very calm. And he moved on. I could tell instantly, like there was just a total drain in me and peace and calm.
Very cool.
It was pretty incredible. It's
It
like
was.
everybody almost got that
I-
calming
I-
feeling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that was very kind of y'all to move him along. That's a nice story.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have any real bad experiences or anything. I mean, I have like two ones that weren't great, but rather than that, you know, a lot of people get freaked out or nervous or whatnot, and not me. I guess I'm the crazy one because I'm all like, I'm all in. Let's go. Let's do this and do that. And, you know, I just go in it with an open heart, open mind, and, you know, just trust that whatever's going to happen is benefiting me. So, me and the team.
Well,
no.
and the only thing that freaked me out in Jericho was there was a room downstairs in the basement, and it was covered by like a blanket, and it was almost like an old fruit cellar. And you go in there, and it just gave me the total heebie-jeebies. And mind you, I'm not sensitive at all. I'm like totally opposite of everybody else in my group. I'm not sensitive at all. So when I do like the Estes method compared to the other girls, I have totally different experiences than they do. It's really weird. When I was doing it upstairs, I had to say words and stuff that I really didn't want to, but it's what was coming through.
Oh, that was great though.
The
Yeah,
best
it
part
was.
about doing these type of investigations with so many different people is that everybody is completely affected differently. Like
Yeah.
Jamie could be feeling something that I don't feel, or Joe is feeling something a little more than I feel, and it's crazy, and it literally affects everybody differently, and it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, definitely. It's for me, it's very cool to see everybody else's reactions or non-reactions and that, because like Jamie said, she's not sensitive to anything and that egg. So I've always like, how can you not feel that? You can't. Oh, the last place her and I went to, I was like, oh, I wish you could feel like I could, because I just love it. I love it when when my vibrations go up and down and everything else. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well,
Yeah,
Kimmy,
definitely.
is there anything that you would like to add in regards to your group on how you got started here? Because we would like to give you a quick shout out and stuff, and then we'll get you on your
Yeah.
merry way.
You know, I just kind of started after my parents passed away. And so just kind of puts you on like this kind of journey of kind of like finding out what, you know, that kind of like, you know, in your life of what's missing and if is there stuff afterwards. So it just kind of starts going this like path of finding out. So, but yeah, we're on Best Friends Paranormal. We have a group and a page, and you can find us on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Cool. Cool.
This Kimmy and her group
If you ever
are
need,
like.
I was going to
Go
say
ahead.
to Kimmy, if you ever need some advice or you got a question, I'm sure Jamie would be glad to answer it. Or you can contact me, and I will be happy to answer it for you.
Thanks. Yes, we
Supporting
just
new
recently
people in the
started
paranormal,
everything, so.
and you need to take the advice of more experienced people that will really put you forward in your investigations.
Well, I have yet to have my first investigation. I've done online stuff, but I haven't had my first one yet. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, her
By the
and
way,
her group are wonderful.
All you need to investigate is something to write on, something to write with. Maybe take you a clipboard, pencil, pen, a flashlight, preferably red or green, and maybe a recorder. And that's all you really need.
Yeah.
And an open
Especially for
mind.
your first investigation.
Yep.
Mm.
An open mind is the most important tool you can bring with you.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Maybe
pretty
an
much
extra
we're up-
pair of, maybe an extra pair of underwear just in case, you know.
Right. And some shoes to run fast in there. If I need
Right.
If you're in a bad haunted place and you're going into a place where you know the spirits are maybe not that friendly, wear brown pants.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for having me on.
Oh, it
Good
was
to
so
see
good to
y'all.
see you, Kimmy. Thank you for
Good to see
joining.
y'all. Thanks, y'all.
Thank
Say
you
hi
for
to your
being here,
girls
Kimmy.
for us.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Love ya.
Love you too.
And Kimmy, after you've done, oh, she's gone. I was going to say if she wanted to appear on the show after her investigation, I'd love to have her responses after
Oh,
she's
yeah, we
can
gone
let her
and had
know.
her first investigations.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
that-
sure
that-
she's still
that's all.
listening.
That's always a hoot when some people talking about their first investigation. That's always fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Sure is.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, Joe, you said you're the crazy one.
I think so. I mean, probably. I would think so.
To show you how crazy I am, I investigate
Yeah.
a lot by myself.
Oh, okay.
See, that would
I-
be me.
Yeah.
In fact, I was in New Orleans
Mm-hmm.
and I got locked in the old, now closed French Quarter Wax Museum for 2.5 hours alone.
Oh, Lord.
You see, I could do like 10, 15 minutes for the first couple of times, but no. I would,
2.5 hours alone.
I would lose it.
And I was
Yeah,
locked in. I did.
It-
I
it
was
would
finally.
See, it would depend. If there was a lot of spirits talking to me, then I'd be fine. If there wasn't, then I'd probably be like, well, what am I supposed to do? There's only so many wax people you can look at, you know? I mean,
Yeah, it was a
And
large
I-
wax museum. It was the history of New Orleans, and they had one old section that had the old Universal horror creatures in it. You know, Frankenstein, the werewolf,
mm-hmm.
Dracula. So it was not a small place.
Right.
And yes, there was at least one spirit talking to me the whole time.
Oh, so that's good. So at least you weren't lonely.
No, I was not lonely.
That
I did not realize I was locked in there alone until I said, okay, it's getting late. Where are these people? And I guess I need to tell them I'm still here because I hadn't seen
Right.
anybody. So I went to the nearest door and realized it was locked from the other side. So I had to walk through this whole place, which in all the little winding hallways was probably a good tenth of a mile, walking in the dark, and finally found way at the other end an open door, and I found the guys that were still there, and I said, "Just come get me when you're ready." So
Awesome.
he came looking for me at 4:30 in the morning,
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
and I'd been by myself since about 1:30.
Oh, geez. Yeah, when we were at Jericho, we were there from 8 till about 4:30 in the morning. And
That makes
and
for a
then
long night.
it does. It does. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
a few of us could have kept on going.
Oh, I definitely could have kept on going
Mhm.
for sure. Yep. Yeah. Then Jamie and I did a residential place, and that was really neat because the residents, they just left the house for us, and
Never met him before.
yeah, never met them. They just said, "Here's the house. Have at it. We'll come back in like 4 hours." And yeah, it was really neat though, because they weren't scared or anything. They just kind of basically wanted to know about the spirit, and we're okay with coexisting with it and everything. So that was really, really cool to be able to, talk to them about it.
Yeah, they just
Oh,
wanted
cool.
validation that they weren't going crazy, and so it was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great bunch of guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember this has been quite a few years since it's really been shown, when Ghost Adventures was in the Cincinnati Rectory, Saddamsville Rectory?
Mm.
Oh my gosh, I've watched so many of their episodes through the years, I wouldn't be able to tell you anymore.
Zach Bagans wouldn't even go in there without a Catholic priest.
Oh goodness.
Oh really? See, if I didn't know the
there was
history
rumors-
of it, yeah, if I didn't know the
Mhm.
history of a place, I would most definitely go in it. But if you tell me the crazy about it, then I might question it.
Yes.
I
There was
I would go
rumors,
no
they
matter
couldn't
what.
prove it. But a priest was killed in his bed.
Wow.
Yes. And this was before my first knee replacement. And all of a sudden I'd been on my feet too long. The right knee swelled up. And I said, I've got to take a break. So the bed in that room was study. It was not the same bed the priest got murdered in, but it was the same room.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went in there and laid down on the bed and flipped on the full spectrum camera.
Nice.
And
Wow.
the only light in the room was what was going through the blinds and curtains of the room from outside, which wasn't much, and the screen on my camera. And I was never alone.
Wow.
I could see shadow figures darting around, and they forgot about me. And I was up there about an hour all by myself in an extremely haunted location, and definitely in the wrong room to be by yourself in, because there was people who would not walk in that room.
Oh wow.
Zach Bagans on TV didn't go in that room. He would not go in there.
Wow.
Joe, are you that kind of crazy?
I am. I mean, well, we
Me too.
plan on going to Plainfield. I don't know, Len, if you're familiar with Plainfield history.
No, I am not. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sure I'm not.
Oh well.
And again, this is Plainfield, Wisconsin.
Yep, Plainfield, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah. So November 5th, Paranormal Party will be going to Plainfield, Wisconsin. And the history with that is in 1955, 56, something like that.
Drum roll.
Eggen was arrested for serial killer. He used to dig up graves, and he would cut the faces and the skin off people, and the dancing naked in the moonlight, that's where all that stuff came from.
Oh wow.
And and so what I'm hoping is we're gonna go to the cemeteries, and I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to like literally be able to be by a grave site and be able to feel the skin that he had like on the face and everything. That's what I'm hoping for. So Yep, that's my crazy.
Yeah, we're going to be going to the
Cool.
cemetery there. We're going to be going to the jail that he was housed in, which is now a jail/museum. And then we're hoping to go to the hardware store where he abducted a woman. Not into the hardware store. We haven't been able to gain access, but around it, outside. And then to a tavern that he used to go to, which has now been demolished, but we're still going to go to the land, to the property. So we're going to make a day of it, and that's what, November 5th, I believe.
November 5th. Yep.
So pretty excited
Cool.
about that trip.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
yeah. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get all the feels in.
Joe, do you ever feel overloaded at an investigation like this?
Oh yeah, there's times I do. The problem is with me is I love that feeling. So it doesn't really bother me too much. I would say when we were in the room in the convent, and even though my legs were going up and down, that was physically that was happening. Mentally, emotionally, I was full of the spirit's anxiousness. Whatever the spirit was feeling is what I was feeling. It wasn't coming from me. Like, I wasn't scared, I wasn't anxious or anything. But emotionally for me and mentally for me, I was perfectly fine, and all I wanted to do was help the spirit. So, and I usually tell everyone, because even when I'm not doing readings or I'm not doing anything, I'm very much a boisterous person, very out there in that. So I tell people when I do my readings, that's why I like to say I'm an empath. So if they don't know, I tell them I'm an empath. That means I may cry. I'm very excited. There's lots of times where I'm doing a reading and I'll see a card. I'm like, ooh, we got a good one. We got a good one here. I get excited.
There's nothing wrong with excitement.
No,
That's just part of the enjoyment.
definitely. Yeah.
Now, Joe, I'll tell you something else I did a little bit crazy.
Oh boy.
In Chicago, because I don't know if Jamie's even aware of this. I lived for 14 and a half years in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
It's a city of 3 million people, and now I'm living a mile outside of a small town that's got less than 2,300 people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, big
Wow.
change.
Yeah, definitely.
I live on a 4-acre lot. In Chicago, we had just a lot you could throw a Kleenex across the yard.
Oh wow.
It was that small. And
Wow.
well, the people who bought the house from us, the backyard was so small, they couldn't even have a proper basketball court, so they just paved the whole thing. And it wasn't that much concrete.
Oh my goodness.
But I was in a bar that had only been a bar for a few years. For 90 years, it was a funeral home.
Oh.
The ice room downstairs in the basement, of course, when they said put a body on ice, of course, that was before air conditioning, and the body was literally on ice.
Mm-hmm.
Was where a spirit, I come to find out, was Bruno Rodi. That's where his hangout was. And if you look up Bruno Rodi, you're not going to find a whole lot of information on him. But he was one of 2 of Al Capone's Bond people.
I was going to say, the name sounded very familiar.
He ran the Black Hands group, the 26th Street gang. Capone came to Chicago, and Al Capone took that gang over.
Oh, cool.
And by the way, the 26th Street gang is one of the very few uh, mob organizations that still exist in Chicago today.
Wow.
They in the 80s and 90s, starting in the 70s, they started purging a lot of the mob groups, and there was only 2 or 3, into the new century, into the 2000s, and the 26th Street Gang was one. I spent nobody else that I knew of could spend more than about 5 minutes in that cold room.
Oh.
I spent an hour 2 or 3 different times in there.
Oh, jeez. That's
With
amazing.
a rather spirit who would act up. I was pushed a couple of times. I had my hat knocked off my head. I got a group in there one night, and they wanted to leave because Bruno went through me. I had a K2 meter parked on kind of on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
The K2 went off. Then I could feel it going through me. And I told the group, okay, he's going through me.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the guy across. We were in a circle, and instead of going through the guy, he shoved the guy. And I got that on video. It's him stumbling backwards all of a sudden.
Oh, that's so cool. So cool. Very, very cool.
He was kind of a violent person. He scratched a couple of people. Employees of the bar would not even go in there.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow. Wow. See, stuff like that intrigues me. It makes me want to go into.
That's crazy.
I had to go in there with a psychic that he was holding 23 spirits hostage in that bar.
Oh wow.
So he wouldn't have to be alone because he couldn't leave.
Wow.
We talked with him for quite a while and didn't move him on because this is a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to move on because he knows which direction he's going.
Right.
Oh. Yeah. And rightly so.
So we did forgive him. I forgave him for attacking me a couple of times, and got him where he could move the place. I said, this bar is leaving. This building will be shut down, and the building is still shut down. There's nobody in there. I said, you don't want to be here. And you've got these other spirits, you're holding them here. You don't want to be. He finally got where he left and released the spirits.
Wow.
Nice.
That's cool.
Good.
Yeah.
But on a different subject, who is our little furry friend here?
Oh, this is my Malavine. Her nickname is Turkey because she's a chunk. I've got too many pets from what my mom tells me. We got this one puppy. Well, no,
it's a beautiful cat.
Oh yeah, the dog you saw earlier. That's my Misty. She's my sidekick at home. She never leaves my side, ever. I can't even go to the bathroom alone.
Okay.
And then I have another dog. I've got 2 dogs. My other one, he's a full lab. His name is Remy. And then the other cat you probably saw walking around back here earlier. That's my Stormy. And then I also have a bearded dragon.
Nice.
Okay. So
a little bit of everything.
Your dogs and cats get along.
For the most part. Oop. Oh, here comes the other one.
I never mind seeing animals on the show because it's a nice. There we go. That's another pretty cat.
Itty bitty little thing. She weighs like 5 pounds, and then the other one weighs like 15.
Okay.
So they're all my joy.
Jamie, have you had any kind of experiences of good spirits or not so good spirits in your investigations?
No, like I said, I'm not sensitive at all. I'm more like the technical. I like getting the evidence Um, and when I hear things, I don't really classify them as male, female, good, bad, because I've never had anything negative. Everything that I've come across has been positive, and that's just whether it be the REM pod going off or the flashlights going off or an EVP that you caught or hearing something, through the spirit box. So most of my experiences have all been very good. And if it were negative, I probably really wouldn't notice anyway. I mean, unless it was really bad and it's coming up to scratch me and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not a skeptic. I'm just, I try to see the good in everything. Right. So I'm definitely different than most.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we went to Jericho, yeah, when we went to Jericho, and she was doing the Estes method, that was the best because I think it was a male and had to be in his early 20s. I think actually he said he was 24, I think. And oh my gosh. And it must have been a more modern kid because he was just like, awesome. Yeah. Okay. And and then it was the other thing that was great was every time we did the Estes method, whoever it was that was doing it would literally look right at me and ask me the questions. So when Jamie was doing it, she looked right at me and Spirit said, "I like that one. She's witty." Oh, and it was great. There was a lot of good times there.
I think the funniest story of that little incident that I have to share because it's when we had to pull everybody out. We were like, okay, we're done. We can't handle this. We're laughing too hard. At the end of it, we just asked, we're like, okay, so what do you want to talk about? Like, is there something you want to talk about? And she just goes, help the ladies. And we're like, help them how?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And we're like, help them how? And like within, like, boom, immediate response. And he goes, some are ugly. And we're like, I can't do it anymore. We are done. We need to pull her out of this. We are laughing too hard because it's just so out of the blue. But it was a clear response. I mean, it's evidence. It was a good one. That definitely made the night.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
and
like you said, that was at the very end. It was great.
You can't see, you can't hear, you don't know what's going on around you when the Estes method is happening.
Yeah.
All you have is a spirit box going on in your head, and you're just blurting out words that you hear, and like I said, some of them you want to say and some of them you don't want to say, but you say it anyway because that's what you hear, and I'm like, it's ugly, and I'm like, I have to say this word,
Yeah.
Just
fun. It was great. It was great.
Jamie,
yes?
I hate to stop y'all. Right, it is 11 o'clock, which means it's halftime, which means I got to do a little advertising.
Sounds good. Be back in a few.
Yep.
All right. Oh yeah, y'all just stay right here because I don't have a video to show. Boy, this thing.
Oh, so Joe, this is where we make our faces.
Okay. First, we're going to go
I knew where I was going with that.
First, we're going to go to this event here. This is the boot recovery. Although, that's this weekend on the 22nd. Yep. With the Wraith Tracers, Chris and Mike.
Yep.
Celebrity Ghost Hunt benefiting the reboot, the Recovery Veteran Suicide Awareness. So if you're in that extra on street, what is that? Street Canberra, Texas. attend that event, please. It is going the money is going to a good cause. And Chris and Mike, from what I hear, are people. So if you're in the neighborhood, please attend that event. And let's see, this one's still current, or is it not? Yep, that is still current. History, Haunts, and Legends in Jefferson, Texas. That's November 5th. And so the information is called for information and tickets. It's all call in. So for tickets and information, call 903-601-3375 to go to that event. Now this one next is a Gypsy. This was October 29th and 30th at Frisco, Texas Convention Center. The Gypsy Soul Holistic Fair. Now, I am supposed to attend next spring's Gypsy Soul Holistic Fair in Hot Springs. The wife and I are preparing to go to that event. This is the one that's in Frisco, Texas Convention Center, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you're in the Frisco, Texas area, here's you an event to attend, October 29th and 30th. Has speakers, a lot of stuff to get into and talk with. So if you're there, attend that event. And we'll go one more time to the one I'm really pressing for this weekend is the Reboot Recovery with RIP and the Wraith Chasers, Chris and Mike. That's this coming weekend. And there was supposed to be another one, but I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Done commercial breaks. Looks like we lost somebody.
Yeah, Keziah said she kicked herself out on accident, but she wants me to say goodnight to everybody. She was having a hard time sitting up and stuff. So she says good night. Thank you, Len. And hopefully she'll catch you again soon sometime.
Okay. All right. Well, here we're starting our second hour. Let's see, I was going to ask you a question before we went to all that advertising stuff, and I forgot what it was.
I'm sure you'll remember eventually.
It'll come back to me.
I'm sure.
Anyway, Jamie, you want to talk about any of the other experiences? Jo said she just did her first investigation. Do you have any interesting experiences in any of your investigations, Jamie?
Oh my goodness. Well, even the last investigation that I did with Jo at that private residence, it was really cool because for the most part, we weren't getting a whole lot of activity. Just random things here and there, you know. And then all of a sudden at the very end, we were just listening to the spirit box, and the spirit box started answering pretty specific things like there was a couch, and the granddaughter of the people that lived there always seen or felt something when she was on this couch, and almost felt like she got grabbed and pulled off of the couch, and it freaked her out. And the spirit box was coming across a gentleman more or less saying that, you know, he liked that couch. It was his couch, to get down on the floor. You know, it actually called, I'd like to say it called Jo, excuse my French, a whore. But it did straight out say whore twice. And we're like, what? You know, so we made a joke of that for a while. But yeah, just random things like that. Nothing significant where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freaked out. Just little things. And whether it be, like I said, the REM pod going off or flashlights going off like on command, answering, you know, specific questions, like when we were at that bakery that Keziah was telling you about in Tennessee, the spirit box was almost on point. Like, how many people do you see? 11. Yes, there were 11 people there. You know, so just freaky stuff that you wouldn't expect. So we really enjoyed it. Really, 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 we really enjoy those kind of things. And we're just starting to document it. And what makes us different than like everybody else, I don't know if you can see it in our personalities right now because we're tired. We've been going all day long. But we are funny. We're such a fun group of people. We're very positive. I do stupid things all the time, whether it be talking in the camera sideways or making faces. But it's just the three of us, and we just go to town and we have a blast doing it. We don't bring any negative energy, and we're willing to go anywhere and do just about anything, whether it be negative or positive. And unfortunately, because everything does come at a cost, throughout the winter, we're not going to be doing a whole lot of investigations unless we're in Wisconsin, unless they're indoors and we're guaranteed safe travels because none of us want to travel in icy weather. So most of what we're going to be doing is online, just a lot of online things promoting. And then come next spring, we're really going to hit full force.
Yep.
We've got an event coming up. I don't know what you want to call it. It's called Spirits in the Spring. It's like a convention, a paranormal convention, and that's at Broadhead Manor in Wisconsin here. We're going to be a vendor there. It's going to be our first appearance as a vendor. So we're extremely excited for that. And then we'll get to investigate there with a whole bunch of well-known people, like Natalie Jones she owns Paraflix. She's a CEO of Paraflix.
Okay.
She's going to be there. And then we are set up, and this is what we're extremely excited for, August 26th, the Michigan Paracon. We're going to be vendors. We're going to be vendors there. We already have our booth purchased and stuff, and we're on the main page as a vendor already on the website. So it's exciting, and we're just going to try to do as many things locally as we can, Northern Illinois, Southeastern, South Central, Southwestern Wisconsin, and just venture out when we get the funds to do so.
I understand about funding.
Yeah. Because a lot of these places you have to pay good money to get into.
Yes, you do. And you can't blame them because there is maintenance and upkeep on any building.
Oh, yeah.
You got to keep the roof over it. You got to keep the stuff maintained, or it's not safe to go into.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't blame them at all. Some of them you're like, okay, that's a little outrageous. But for the most part, no. And they're all pretty much streamlined. They all have like that base pay, and they're all pretty comparable with one another.
Yes.
I don't know if Joe knows this or not, but no, see, Joe doesn't know like the celebrity names like I do. But Dave Schrader and Shane Pittman.
Oh, I know him. Yep.
Which one? Shane?
I know Dave Schrader. I met him at the Janesville Paracon. And
oh, yeah.
Yep. And then I'm Facebook friends with Shane. I haven't met him in person though yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think Shane and I are Facebook friends, and Dave actually interviewed me about something that happened in Baxter's Grove Cemetery in the middle of Baxter's Grove for his Darkness radio show.
Nice,
yep.
Very nice. He's an awesome guy. Awesome.
He's a great guy. I got nothing bad to say about Dave.
No.
Yeah, well, next May 5th and 6th, those two are going to be at the old Juliet prison again.
Oh.
So I'm going. I don't care who's joining me or if I got to go alone. I'm going to be going to investigate with those two. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I will definitely be there with you then.
Start saving.
Yeah.
Because I'm going VIP and it's like $250, and that's without hotels. So,
Jamie, do me a favor.
Yes.
These events you're talking about, places where you're going to be a vendor, if you contact the people who are going to be running the event,
Yeah.
tell them that I would be happy to run a 30-second video advertising their event
Okay.
at no charge. At no charge.
Oh, okay.
I'll show it during halftime of the show, whenever they want to get it to me. I'll run the thing during show halftime for 2, 3, 4 months.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
they got it to me that early.
Yeah, because Michigan Paracon is huge.
Yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
if anybody's going to advertise, that would be the one to do the advertising for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will definitely
But
let them know.
even the smaller events, if they just wanted to show me a banner or just something, a picture they want to show, they can shoot it to me on Facebook Messenger, and I'll put it up in here just like I did these others.
Okay, well, how about this with the Broadhead Manor one? I've got a poster and stuff for it and whatnot because we advertise it on our page as well. So I'll just send that to you because that's advertising for me.
Okay, send it via Facebook Messenger, and I'll put it up in here.
Awesome. That would be amazing. I would appreciate it. Because where we're going, I know it's a big thing, but advertising for them is advertising for me. So yeah, next year we definitely plan on hitting a lot of different places.
Yeah, definitely
You
going to
know.
be full force on everything.
And there are places that you can go. I mean, the spirits and ghosts are everywhere. They don't run on a paycheck.
Yes.
So it's not like every place that we go, we have to pay for.
Right.
Like Plainfield is almost free except for a donation to the museum. And that's $25. So
I mean, there's plenty of cemeteries we can just go to in the summertime and springtime and whatnot too, I mean, and like I said before, Jamie and I went to a residence place. So if there's somebody out there that, thinks that their place is haunted or has an issue with something, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to live on the south side of Chicago, which meant I could go to Bachelor's Grove. Of course, it's free. Yep. It's an abandoned cemetery. And it's in the middle of the Forest Preserve, which is a kind of a free park area. And I just couldn't go in there at night, but I could go there. There was a couple of weeks where I went, out of 14 days, I was in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery probably 12 days.
See, I could just sit in those places for hours. So I hear you.
I did.
Yeah.
Exactly what I did.
Well, and like I said, you have to be patient because I mean, like, I tell everybody, ghosts aren't on a paycheck. You're not guaranteed to get that evidence or get somebody talking. It's like standing in a crowd of 1 million people and expecting one person out of 1 million that you're trying to get attention to talk to you. It doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Right.
And you ever talk about Joe moving on a spirit? I did the same thing at Bachelor's Grove that we did at the bar. I got the primary spirits that were there a lot during the daytime to start traveling around because a child was stuck there. And Jamie, you and I were talking on the phone about the famous picture of the lady on the stone. By Dale Kazmarik's group. I found out who that is.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
Who is it?
Right there. That is John Humphrey and his wife Amelia Patrick Humphrey. If you look at this photo and to the lady on the stone, you can see through the dress. And that lady on some picture, by the way, was taken with 35 millimeter camera using high speed infrared film. You can see that the dress she has on has dots.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like this one. This is her wedding picture. So as usual, the a female ghost, a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
appear in their wedding dresses. If you notice, the hair is about the same, even though this is a head-on shot and the other one's a profile. I've had a lot of
Wow.
people look at it and they say it's the same person. This is the wedding picture taken in 1863. Dale
Unbelievable.
Kazmarik's group and Judy Huff took the Lady on the Stones picture in 1992.
Yeah.
And that's her right there. And this is why right here.
Yeah, I seen that but before we went live. Incredible.
That's her firstborn child that died at 11 months, 4 days old in 1865.
Ugh.
And she is still buried at Bachelor's Grove in the Patrick plot. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
They got married, and he founded Orland Park. It's a suburb of Chicago to the south. And if you're familiar with Chicago, you've seen the trains that not the L trains, but the bigger trains that go out into the suburbs. Orland Park's
Mhm.
at the end of one of those lines, and he founded the town and got the railroad to come out there. And they, of course, you got to get a cemetery if you found a town. He bought plots in the new cemetery, but the cemetery was not available for burial until 1869. So when Libby May died suddenly in 1865, they couldn't put her in Orland Park, so they put her in Amelia's family's plot. Her, of course, maiden name being Amelia
Oh.
Patrick. And she's buried there with 5 or 6, perhaps 7, but I think it's more about 5 or 6 family, cousins and uncles that are Patricks.
Yeah, family video.
And what I did, Libby May made approaches to me while I was in the cemetery for so long, and she followed me home a couple of times. And so I kind of taught her to move around and got her talking, and that freed her up. So instead of Amelia having to come to the cemetery every evening just before dusk to take her away from the scarier, meaner night spirits that hung around there, she is now free to go, and they travel the world. Which is what I suggested to her. I said, "Why are you stuck here in this old abandoned cemetery?
Right.
Why don't you?" She said, "You didn't get to travel all that much in your married life. Why don't you go see Paris? Go see London?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Do as you choose. Live.
And,
Yeah.
and she, Bachelor's Grove during the daytime now there's not many spirits. So people go there and say it's not haunted like it used to be. There's this feeling of ease, and you don't contact anybody. I said, yeah, because I taught the spirits that were there to move on,
Mm-hmm.
not move to the other side, but tour the world.
Yeah,
Right.
to carry on. To live while they can, even though they're dead. You know?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're having a good time. The only person she really responds to now is Dale. If Dale comes in there,
Oh, really?
and yes, and he'll say her name 2 or 3 times, and she'll come back and say hi.
Mm.
Aw, that's cool.
Mm.
So
That's cool.
but she hardly ever speaks to anybody else, and people, it's not crowded like it used to be. You used to go there, especially on a spring day, and people,
But
you have 100 people there during an hour.
yeah.
Going through, and those crowds have faded because the place isn't haunted. There's not that many spirits there.
Right. But you know why that is and why she has that, attachment to Dale. And it's like Kasaya just said to me before, because the number one rule is treat them with respect. You're their guest,
Yes,
they're not yours,
Yeah.
So treat them with that respect and gain that trust, and they'll be your friend for life, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw those pictures that I flashed up before?
Yep.
I'm sure you cannot tell me where this is.
I can't.
No.
I'm guessing that
Uh,
was your place in Chicago.
Yeah, I was going to say Chicago.
This Chicago. This
Okay.
is just 40 yards from the Biograph Theater. You see that the silver poles coming down, the pipes.
Yeah. Yes.
You see a couple of little spots on the asphalt there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where John Dillinger dropped after he was shot, killed.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Crazy.
That's the alleyway where John Dillinger died.
That's crazy. But see, that's what I mean. That history is like everywhere,
Right.
you know,
Definitely. Yeah.
everywhere. And it's
Mm.
just stunning and so intriguing to me.
Definitely.
You know, that's what I was telling you before, Len, you know, about finding that historian and getting the actual real history of places. Because when we were trying to get information on Jericho, it was almost impossible. I spent
Wow.
hours upon hours trying to pull stuff up. And even the people that are running it and stuff, they're having a hard time digging up information. It's like, it was like deleted off the web. It's really weird.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
and he
that's
actually
like,
has
hmm,
he has
go ahead.
access to public records and archives, so newspaper archives and stuff. He pays for subscriptions for all that stuff, and he's like dumbfounded. You know,
Wow.
he's like, I don't know. They can pull information up about the church and about the cemetery, but not a whole lot about the convent and school. So it's just weird.
Yeah.
Which I guess once you get a website, if you should probably pull up the information that you've got and post it online so other people can actually read it.
Oh, right. We actually plan on putting out like a little newsletter too, you know,
There you go. There you go.
in regards to our hunts. And obviously it'll be in our website, and you can always look back, 10 years, if we were doing this 10 years from now, and still get those clippings of our investigation and what we came across. And, so we'll see. We're very excited to take this journey. Very
Yeah.
excited.
Yep. Yep.
Because we're newer. But we're going in like all in. You should see all the stuff that we've purchased. We even have our own t-shirts and carrying bags and business cards. And we just started, what, a month and a half ago, Joe? 2 months ago?
Yeah. Yeah. About 2 months ago.
Well, you're
Yeah.
hitting the ground running, it sounds like.
Like, when we say all in, we mean all in.
Yeah.
We literally, Jamie and I are on the same page about everything. We literally just bounce ideas back and forth off each other, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna go with this. We'll go with this, or how about this, and it's just, yeah, it's amazing. I'm so grateful and thankful and blessed to have met her, and for her to be in my life and everything. So it's a great.
Likewise.
Mhm.
Hello.
Well,
Is that a heart?
Yeah.
let me throw a personal opinion out there right now.
Yes, sir.
Joe and Jamie, I think you're both blessed to have each other.
We are.
Thank you.
We are definitely. Yeah.
I really wish I could find somebody down here like you found each other. I wish I could find somebody like that. Because I would love to have that camaraderie that y'all already have, and you've been together a very short time.
Yes. Yeah. People are very amazed when we tell them that we just started, that we just met each other, because they think we've known each other our whole lives, and that's pretty much the way it feels. I mean, if we go a couple days without talking, it's like, oh my gosh, I miss you. I need to hear your voice.
And I see Kimmy's comment down there, and Kimmy, we love you too.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Kim,
Those schools are
Kimmy's
awesome.
group, Best Friends Paranormal. That's her and Debbie and Laura and stuff. They're like our pals, our sidekicks.
Yeah.
That Facebook user right there, that's Kimmy that was just on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, she's our sidekick.
Yeah.
She's our
Yeah. Those ladies are
parapal.
awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we love you too, Kimmy.
Yeah.
Y'all have
Yeah.
really got a good basis. I just hope you keep the egos out of it,
Oh, yeah.
and don't break up, because a team like y'all have is rare
Aw.
nowadays in the paranormal. And I
Yeah.
wish you all the luck in the world working with each other. And I hope y'all continue this journey for many years to come.
Yeah, we're
Thank
very
you very much.
humble. And
Yeah.
we're not out to get the big name. We're not out to get on TV. We're not out for any of this. We're doing this because it's something we love to do. And we love
Yeah.
to do even for people. You know, when we went to that private residence, they like welcomed us back with open arms. Anytime you want to come back, come on back, you know. And that's the reason that
There
we
you
do
go.
it, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it. And my daughter is such an amazing person. She's a little quieter than Joe and I. But let me tell you, she's all in too.
Yeah. Definitely.
She's a good girl, a very good
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
I finally remembered what I wanted to tell you earlier.
What's that?
You two are really with this saying that if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Definitely. 100%. Yep.
And
Well,
that's the
you,
thing
you're
about
not.
paranormal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the great thing, because like when we did the residence place and we were sitting on the couch by each other, and like Jamie said, the spirit, we didn't know at the time, but spirit wanted that couch. The couch, it felt comfortable on that couch. And
Mhm.
when I heard the word whore, I looked at Jamie and said, "Did he just call me a whore?" And then right away again, whore, yes. And I was like, it did. It called me a whore.
It's at 100%.
Yes, 100%. And I was
Wow.
like,
Uh-huh.
so we told the residents, because we didn't, tell anyone where we were. We just said the town and everything, and we made sure the residents knew that. And I told them, I said, but if you want people to know where you live and everything, just put a sign outside that says the whore was here, and people will know, where we were and everything. And that.
That's hilarious.
it was, and the thing was, when I told the residents that spirit called me a whore, they were like, oh, and I'm like, no, it wasn't like that. It was like, or like they were joking with me, I mean, there was absolutely no negative energy or anything. They just didn't want us on the couch. That's all it was. It was great.
One question: did you get off the couch?
Oh, of course we did.
No,
Yes.
I didn't. I just moved over.
Well, yeah, you moved over because I think didn't you ask? You asked if it wanted you to move over, and I actually got up off the couch and went over, because it did kept saying something about on the floor and that. Yep. And so I just went over to a different chair, and then she scooted over, because I think what it was is that spirit just wanted enough space for spirit. That's all it was. We were crowding it.
Well, and mind you, we have this all on video,
Yeah.
so you go back and you watch it, and you listen to the spirit box and stuff, and you can clearly hear these words coming out. And our Facebook lives, people are following it, and they're hearing the same exact things we are. Makes it so incredible.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I think we had a whole bunch of the girls just laughing because of how crazy and funny it just was.
Yeah.
But then when it's time to be serious, we're serious. We're not all jokes.
Right, right. I mean, yeah, because like and I think every place is going to be different. Like Jericho was definitely way more serious. When there.
Bye, Laura. Nice to have you. Good night. Sorry,
Oh, see you
Laura's
later.
leaving.
See you later. Yep, night.
Okay, continue, Joe. Sorry.
Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, but each place is, going to be different. So like I said, Jericho was more serious there. And then this one, what like Jamie said, there wasn't a whole lot of action there or whatnot, but it was more just casual, I guess.
Well, and you know how most people in the paranormal field, when you go into like these booths and these conventions and everything, it's all dark and dreary, gray, black, you know?
You will never find that
Us?
with us. You
Oh my
will never
gosh.
find that with us.
The gift bags we have are all full of colors. We have balloons. I mean, everything is colorful and light and
Yes,
airy, you know?
yes. I mean,
There's been that
being us
stigma for,
is a gift anyway, so.
right? But there's that stigma that's been out there for years. I mean, you experience it where you live, Len. You know that people that are into the paranormal are weird and dark, and people just don't understand. Where if people really took the time to understand and respect it and everything else,
Mhm.
it is fun. And most
Yeah,
of these spirits are just humans that have passed on. We're not
exactly.
all evil.
Right.
There's still a
Right.
lot of really fun, great people in this world, you
Yeah.
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
And when you do shows like y'all are planning on doing, being a vendor,
Yep.
it's once you go to a couple of the Paracons and you start meeting people, you've
Mhm.
been on their show, they've talked with you, or
Mhm.
wherever you know each other on the internet, and then you meet them a couple of times.
Mhm.
It's kind of like family.
Yeah.
It is. Because
Yeah.
even though I haven't like met, do you know who Robin Terry is?
No, I don't.
He's the
I'm not
he's the
familiar.
owner. He's the owner of Ashmore Estates now. He owns the Scooby Doo
Okay.
Mystery Machine.
Okay.
Um, I've never met him, but I watch as many of his lives that I can catch, and he's doing something special for me for Kasaya's. Yeah, that's the one. You're a little close there, but I see it. But he owns the original Mystery Machine.
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
plastic facsimile.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's doing something special for me. I mailed it to him, and he's going to be doing something special for me because Kasai is actually my daughter. She's actually going there for her honeymoon. So she's going to
Ah,
Ashmore to investigate with the Wraith Chasers over her honeymoon. So he's going to present
okay.
her with a gift for me. So I mean, just getting to know those people. I
Yeah.
walked into there's Tim Malley who does potographs. He just had an event up here that Shane Pittman and Dustin Perry and everybody were at. I walked in the door. Mind you, I've never met Tim Malley, but I walked in the door and he knew me by name. And I was just like, how do you know who I am? He's just like, well, because of Facebook, and you're such a great follower. And I'm like, well, thank you. I mean, so your name gets out there just by
Right.
liking things or just
Yes,
by commenting. And
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
I've gotten to know a lot of people on other shows because a lot of times
mm-hmm,
I'll go to their shows and make a comment, and sometimes I just go into the show and just type in the chat room, hello
yeah,
all, and they say, hello Lynn, I'm glad to see you here.
Yeah.
exactly. They know
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it is. So I have my own business page, and I do lives every Sunday at 9:30. And then at the end of the live I do a reading, and that's how it is on my lives too. People just come in, I got lots of followers and whatnot, and and everybody always says, hi, nice to see you, nice. And I always make sure you have to make sure you say hi to people. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you acknowledge that they took that time out of their busy day to just even come in and say hi for a little bit. It's very nice, very humbling.
That's why I'm always so rude, going, shh, gotta say hello, gotta say goodbye,
Right.
gotta send the love.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you got to make that acknowledgement.
because Len, you've seen me, comment on a whole bunch of your things here and there, and that's just
Yes,
to
you
say,
have.
hey, I'm here to support you,
Yep,
And
and that
exactly.
because
I've been
I'm
meaning to tell
interested.
you, I deeply appreciate it.
Yeah,
Oh, you don't. I know you do, but I appreciate you and what you're doing. So it goes both ways.
So
exactly.
this is what I'm talking about. When you start going to the Paracons and go on as many shows as possible.
Yeah.
Anybody you see with a show, contact them. Say, hey, are you looking for a guest next month or something?
Right.
The more you talk, the more friends you have. Then you go to a Paracon and everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I actually had that happen when I went to the Janesville one. I had been taking classes through Diet Renee, and she has her own radio show, and she had Rob Thompson, the executive producer of Ghost Finders, on there, and he was on there, and I was sharing it, saying hi and everything else and that, and at the end of it, he was going through all the comics and everything, and he said, "Oh, Joe West, you're a smashing lady, smashing lady. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much." And I said I couldn't wait to see him in April, and he's like, "Yes, we'll see you in April and everything." And I commented a couple times throughout the couple months that was there, and then that Friday before the Paracon was Saturday and Sunday, April 9th, that Friday before, they had dinner with the stars. And I got there right as right when it started, and I sat back at a back table with just two people there. And the stars started mingling around and whatnot. And there was two people at the table, and Rob Thompson comes over to the table, doesn't even look at these other two people, looks directly at me, smiles, sits down, and says, "Joe West, how you doing?" And I was like, "I'm good, Rob. How are you?" I'm just like, it had been months since I commented, like you said, Jamie, and that, but I'm just like, I'm Joe West, but yeah, you're Rob Thompson. It's like it was literally like we were friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the same
technically you are. You're a modern friend. When people that used to, the definition of a friend was somebody you called 2 or 3 times a week and you saw in person at least once a week.
Yeah.
But social media has kind of replaced that definition.
Yeah.
And if you sit there like Jamie, she popping in saying, I saw that, or you like that, or something like. You become internet friends.
Right, exactly.
And you may or may not. Jamie and I have no clue we'll ever meet face to face. I mean,
right.
that would be fun. We'd have a good time. But you're in Wisconsin. I'm in Arkansas. And I don't know when I'll be that far north. And Jamie doesn't know when she's going to be this far south.
Right.
Exactly.
But
I'm in the area.
Yep.
We were talking about, Joe, you missed out on the phone call we had. We were talking about New Orleans and Louisiana.
Yeah, I 100% want to go there.
This picture here, these pictures that I showed in the intro to the show. This right here.
Yeah.
That's the wife and I in a popular drinking establishment.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to mention in New Orleans, taken with a full spectrum camera.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Yeah, I definitely want to go there.
The feather in the hat came from a spirit at Bachelor's Grove. Was an Indian village not too far from the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the main thing about Bachelor's Grove, it's not the cemetery that's that haunted, it's the woods around it.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking that was a massacre in that area, including your area. A lot of the natives, the Native Americans, would go from village to village looking for recruits, i.e.,
Mm-hmm.
children and women. So they
Right.
would come into a smaller, weaker village, catch them by surprise, kill the men, and kidnap the women and children, and thereby increasing their own tribe.
Wow.
And we're thinking that that village there got wiped out. There is a couple of descendants that will occasionally go back there and commune with their ancestors. That feather you saw in the cap was a
Mm-hmm.
gift from the shaman from that village.
Oh, how
'Cause
nice.
I went back to the Indian village, or where the village was, and I said, if anybody's got anything to say. Now they communicated in a Native American tongue that I had, of course, I didn't understand a word of it,
Right. Right.
but I did listen to it, and because I was listening and basically communing with somebody else's ancestors,
Right. Right.
on my way out, the path, of course, we're in the woods, but you got to the tree is almost in the path. You kind of got to go around the tree on the path,
Mm-hmm.
and sitting in the middle of the path, right beside that tree, was the tail feather from a red-tailed hawk,
Oh,
Wow.
and that's the feather that you see stuck in that cap.
nice. Very nice.
I wear it on my hat. I still have that hat, still have that feather,
Nice.
even though I've had the feather now for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very nice.
that's incredible.
Yeah,
And
But you know,
definitely.
in this other picture
even
here, that's a bedroom with the hat.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
see that.
That's in a hotel room in the Andrew Jackson Hotel.
Oh,
Nice.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yes, that's an extremely haunted hotel. If you get a choice, go. That was an expensive investigation. It was 2 nights, all night long. You can imagine,
Yeah, no kidding.
all
Yeah.
night ghost hunt, 2 nights in a row,
Oh,
including walking to another haunted slave quarters.
wow.
Wow.
That was 6 years ago. Working on 7
Wow.
was almost a $500 investigation.
Wow.
Well,
And of
just
course, that
Jericho, Jericho from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. That alone was I paid $700 for. No, 600. Sorry. 350 and
Okay.
250, you know? So just for that alone, I mean, yeah, some of the girls helped me, pay for part of it, but it's expensive, and that's
Yes,
without
it is.
hotel rooms or anything,
Right.
Yeah.
you know?
The Andrew Jackson, that was not including the 2 nights in the hotel, which was over $100 per night.
Yeah.
So
Right?
that was working on $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely adds up. But just
Yes, it does.
speaking of that feather, I know it's not necessarily a souvenir, but to you, it's almost a piece of history. It is a souvenir in a way.
Right.
You're
Yes,
always
it
going to
is.
remember that to that
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
But souvenirs from people, whether it be a flashlight or a T-shirt or whatever, can be huge.
Yeah.
Just for marketing purposes. Like
Mm.
Joe was telling you, with Rob Thompson, it was incredible because I purchased a T-shirt from his page, and he out of the blue sent me an autographed picture from everybody from the Ghost Finders crew. And I never asked him for that. I hardly even knew the guy, I
Yeah.
just followed him on Facebook and clicked the like button. And
Mhm.
the T-shirt was only $10, it cost him almost $9 to ship it. So he's not making any money off of this.
Mhm.
And
No.
mind you, I went to the same convention that Joe went to in Janesville, Wisconsin. Never met Joe, didn't know
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah.
you know, didn't meet her until a couple months later. But
Yeah.
at that convention, I walked up to Rob and said, mind you, he didn't know who I was, and I just said I would just like to thank you for that autographed picture that you sent, you know, along with. And he gave me the biggest and greatest hug, and he's just like, later on, I'm going to take a picture with you, you know, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I got a picture with him and, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff. I talked to him for like 20 minutes. And mind you, he was busy. I mean, he was doing reading after reading after
Right,
reading.
right.
So it was really cool that he took that time out just to talk to little old me. And
Yeah.
my birthday was just this last August. And to have him, you know, just to come to my Facebook page and say, happy birthday, darling. You know, just those little
Right.
things that mean so
It
much.
means a lot. It means a
Exactly.
lot.
Definitely.
Or even like
Mhm.
Shane Pittman. I bought a t-shirt from him and I wore it to an event and never met the guy before, but I was the only one in that whole place that wore something of his.
Mhm.
And as soon as a presentation was done, he yelled across the room, "Hey, I like your t-shirt." You know, and I stood up and I'm like, yeah, I never met the guy, you know, but I have a feeling that's about to change today. He's like, get over here, you know, and we talked to him for a good half hour. And it wasn't just us talking to him. He was talking to us.
Right.
He was
Right.
engaging
Exactly.
with us. In
Yeah.
fact, in 11 minutes, 28 Days Haunted is airing on Netflix, which is Shane Pittman's newest show.
Yeah.
So shout out to
Very
Shane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
unsolicited solicitation there.
But I mean, it's all of those little things that, you know, make this a
Mhm.
pair of family, you know, family,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
that
On the
connects
subject,
all of us. Yeah.
on the subject, see if I can show this. That's a
Okay.
pancreatic cancer
Okay.
ribbon. The reason I
Yeah.
have that, this is a souvenir.
Okay.
Here's the backside of it.
I can't read it, but you can tell us what it is.
Okay, the backside of it is talking about the pancreatic network,
Okay.
pancreatic cancer
Okay.
network. This is a similar souvenir. I don't know if you can read that.
No, it's really blurry.
Okay. Your kind expression of empathy, sympathy, will always remain in our memories. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. And that's
Aw.
this came from a funeral
Oh.
from the family, from the Richard Crow family.
Oh.
You've heard of Richard Crow.
Yeah. Aw.
Uh,
That is a souvenir.
Very
that
nice.
that earlier picture that I showed you from
Yeah.
the alley,
That's more than a souvenir. Yeah.
that was taken at the last John Dillinger event that Richard Crow did. That was in
Oh,
July. He died
gee.
in June of the next year after that. So that was his last John
Wow.
Dillinger event. I was there, I investigated the alley and took that picture. Also took some picture of a tavern down the street that had been closed. It was an
Uh-huh.
extremely haunted location. So I videoed, took some pictures of front and back of that building, and then went into the bar. I knew I was early for the event. Richard Crow was sitting at the bar, and he and I had never met, but we promptly spent the next 2.5 hours talking about the paranormal.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And
But that's all it
yeah,
takes.
Right.
people say
Right.
you go on one of his tours and you listen to him, but he's talking to the whole tour bus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people consider themselves blessed by walking up, shaking Richard Crowe's hand, and maybe speaking to him for a minute or two. Two and a
Yeah, but
half
to actually
hours
sit down.
at a bar over a
Yeah.
couple of drinks. We had, being honest, 3 or 4 drinks each.
Mm-hmm.
But for 2.5 hours, I was to do that less than a year before he died. I consider myself one of the most blessed people on the planet.
Definitely.
Right?
Because Richard Crowe was the godfather of
Yeah.
all paranormal people in the city of Chicago. Dale learned from him.
Wow.
He investigated Bachelor's Grove many times
Wow.
before it was fashionable. He led tours down there. He would sit
Mm-hmm.
there. You couldn't go in the cemetery at night, but the bridge nearby with a highway with a highway running by it. The police pulled up behind his car many nights because he would park alongside the bridge, turn those emergency flashers, and would sit there and stare at this abandoned cemetery at night, and could actually see shadow figures and other spirit forms moving around in the cemetery.
Oh, that's crazy. But that's so
Uh,
cool.
he and I talked for a while. I ended up joining the Westerners, which is a Western club,
Okay.
with him, and for a few months we were in there together until he passed away. But I was a speaker a couple times there for the Westerners. The Westerners is just what the word means. You sat there and you discussed or had a speaker talking about the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
also
cool.
joined a Civil War roundtable that he was a member of. This was I didn't meet those people till actually at his funeral, and
Oh.
actually was a speaker and a member of the Civil War roundtable. Of course, obviously talking about the Civil War, and that's where I
Mm-hmm.
met George Levy, who wrote the book "To Die in Chicago." I think it's
Oh,
still on
cool.
sale at Amazon. It's a pretty thick book. To Die in Chicago talks about the prison camp from 1864 through 1865, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That was just out at the time was just outside Chicago, and the remains of which is slightly north of Soldier Field in Chicago now.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
There was between 4,000 and 6,000 people died at this prison camp in 4 years.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Mm.
Just unbelievable.
And I got to know that location, and actually held my own event there for the first and only time that location had ever been investigated at night, after about 2 years of negotiating with the city of Chicago, because it's a public park, and to
Yeah.
get a public park, had to negotiate with the city to get permission to investigate that at night.
Wow.
Yeah. Joe and I
And
have been running into that. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
did all that in Richard Crowe's name, because he kind of
Aw.
set it. He kind of set it all up. That 2.5 hour conversation got me started in the Westerners, where he and I talked quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing my own event at a rather haunted public park and other places, 80 acres there, that was
Yeah.
a Civil War prison camp. Dale got he was asked the people what unit they were with. Due to the fact that I got George Levy to appear at the event, creeped him out,
Mm-hmm.
because he'd go to groups. If you had a meeting and invited him to be the speaker, he would come in with this slideshow and would slideshow and talk for an hour or more about the prison camp. I got him to do it at the location, a matter of yards away from the former headquarters of the prison camp. And he said
Wow.
he had never thought about doing a slideshow outside, and he definitely had never even considered doing a presentation on Camp Douglas, on the Camp Douglas location.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it was named Camp Douglas because Stephen Douglas donated the land to the Union, the government, U.S. government, before he died. Because remember, he lost the election to Lincoln for president, and
Right.
died shortly thereafter.
Crazy, crazy.
So
I just noticed the time here, Len, and we're almost at 2 hours, and I know you gotta go to commercial, but I think Joe's gotta head off here because she's gotta be going to work here in the morning. She gets
Yeah.
up at the butt crack of dawn.
Yeah.
okay,
So
so
I'm
Joe, you're going to be gone in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna be
I'm
gone.
probably gonna say goodnight too, because I'm getting sore. I can't sit for
Okay,
too long. In fact, this is probably I just had a procedure on Monday, so I probably
okay.
shouldn't be sitting here this long either. And if it weren't for my husband, I'd move to the couch.
I understand. We actually did a full 2 hour show.
Yeah.
Woo woo,
So
2 hours.
mm-hmm. And you were wondering, Jamie, if we would even do 2 hours,
Yeah.
and we
And I
Yeah.
said,
and
we'll roll with the punches.
we've
Yeah.
already done 2 hours, and they just flew by. My, how
Yeah.
time
Yep.
flies when you're having fun.
That's
I
right.
did talk to Joe, and Joe would like to um do that recording with you to air on Thanksgiving if you would like to.
Yeah.
And that's primarily to talk about her business in regards to mediumship and stuff. I mean, I'm sure she'll talk about the paranormal party too. So if you're interested, she'd be more than happy to do that with you.
Okay, Joe, we're Facebook friends, aren't we, Joe?
I believe so.
Okay, just contact me
Okay.
on Facebook Messenger,
Okay.
and we'll set up a time convenient for both of us. Like Thursdays are out for recording a show because I'm doing a show.
Right. Right.
And
Good night, Kimmy.
I'm usually doing something, regarding the show I'm airing, not a show to record. But
Right. Right.
most other days, I am retired. We can work out, and the time we don't have to do it at night. We can do it during the day,
Okay.
whenever is most convenient to you.
Okay. Sounds good.
But I
Sounds
would love to
great.
get a show in the can for Thanksgiving. If you want to wear a Native American headdress or whatever, or
Oh, okay.
maybe cook you up a barbecue turkey leg and eat it during the show, that would be hilarious.
Oh, okay.
You don't know what
That
you
we're.
asked for, Len.
Yep. Yep. You have no idea what you got yourself into.
And who knows?
Well,
Maybe I'll make a guest appearance.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm game for most anything. I mean, how many people are doing 5, 6, 7 hour broadcasts on Halloween night?
Right. Right. Yeah.
And I'm planning on going to where I just cannot go anymore. I'm going to start about
Bye.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Starting about 8 o'clock our time, and I may go to 3 in the morning if I can go that far. Now, if I start falling asleep, my head starts hitting the keyboard, I may shut her down.
I got your number. I'll be calling, telling
Yeah.
you to, go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right.
right.
Well, thank
Well,
you
then
so
we'll
much
say
for
goodnight.
having us on,
It-
Len. Thank you
it-
so much. Much love
it
to you.
it's been fabulous. And Joe, I look forward to having you recording a show from you. Jamie, I'd love to have you back again when we got something else to talk about. You doing another investigation, or you appear at the Paracon? Well, we'll be glad to have you back, and so you can talk about
Wonderful.
your experiences. especially if you do
Wonderful.
another
And
investigation. We'll talk about it all. If it's a private investigation, we'll just maybe discuss what happened, and just not say who it was and where it was.
Right.
perfect. Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be watching you next week, and then well, Halloween. I mean, it's
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
But
Right.
next week, I'm supposed to. She keeps putting off recording the show, but this is her last week working this job she's on. So she cannot stay up that late to do a show live. So we're going to record a show
recording.
probably next week. So next week will be supposed to be a new show, but it will be a recording.
Okay.
Okay, that's right. I forgot. Well, we'll still see you at Halloween, which is basically a week away anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, a week, 10 days away. And I'm going to be doing short shows every night until then.
Okay.
Right.
I'll be on 10 o'clock our time. You're on Central, just like me. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just be sharing some of the ghost stories, some of the things I've done. If somebody wants to come in, I'll send them a link to the show, and they can pop in for a few minutes. Nothing long. Not like tonight was 2 hours. I'm not going to go 2 hours. I may just go 30 minutes on the show.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you again, Len. It was good seeing you.
Joe, it's fantastic meeting you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Love you, Jamie.
Love you too.
And
We'll talk
by the
soon.
way, Joe, you have gorgeous ginger hair.
Oh, thank you so much.
Doesn't she?
Thank you so
She's
much.
she's my little leprechaun. Sorry.
It's okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Good
We'll
night,
see you
Joe.
guys later. Bye.
Good night, Joe.
All right. And I'm going to do the same thing here, Len. I appreciate you and everything that you do for everyone. You're just a great guy, and I know we'll be in touch more and more.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking if we're just chatting on Facebook Messenger.
Exactly. Or like I said, you got my number. So we'll talk.
All right, take
All right.
care.
Good night.
Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.
All right, that's going to be our show tonight. We've had an interesting show. We're going to go over here. Change over a few things. Boy, this has been slow moving tonight. It's moving a little bit faster, but boy, even the slide is slow. All right. We're done with Paranormal Reporter. We're going to go back to WLFE.com. This is part of the WLFE DB network. I appreciate them allowing me to do this show, and I appreciate them allowing me a little bit of leeway doing some Halloween shows. So I wish Ted, who owns the network, all the luck. He's having a few issues, so I hope those get over with, and I hope I haven't complicated them. All right, that's going to be our show. Next week will be a recorded show as long as she does recording. We've been trying to get her recorded for a couple of weeks. Probably get it recorded either this weekend or first part of next week, because she's not working next week. But next week is scheduled to be a recorded show. It will be a new show, but it will be recorded. All right. We'll see you next week. Yeah, everybody take care. And no overtime movie tonight. No overtime show. But good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching our show. Be sure to tune in to next week as once again we journey way down south into Bayou Country for another heaping portion of Southern Fried Paranormal with Len Dorman and Bones. Make sure to like, share, and follow. Y'all come back now. You hear?